Hey, honey,
Yes, Barry?
let's get out of here.
Where are we going?
Where do we always go?
Fascina el viento, este ritmo de palmas, sin mi naturaleza, hasta encontrar la playa. Por eso grito al mundo, yo soy de Puerto Vallarta. Samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar. Samba de Puerto Vallarta.
Hello, fellow travelers, and welcome to this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. I'm your host, Barry Kessler, and I'm just so happy to be introducing you to my favorite vacation destination, and maybe it's even yours, and that's Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. The music you're listening to is performed by Alberto Perez. Alberto is the owner of the Lapa Lapa Club restaurants here. Those are the Le Bistro Jazz Cafe Riverside on the Isla Cuale and the Lapa Lapa, Puerto Vallarta's oldest restaurant on the famous Los Muertos Beach, and the El Dorado Restaurant and Beach Club right next door. So you can enjoy that fantastic view of the Los Muertos Pier, all lit up at night in beautiful colors, or during the day in its grand splendor for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, seated with your toes in the sand right at the water's edge, or Riverside at the Bistro. It's so romantic. It's so Puerto Vallarta, my friends. This week we are going to talk to a country musician in paradise. You're going to meet Duncan Shadrack, who's from Kentucky, in the good old US of A. Duncan sings and he plays guitar, and his bandmates, Manola, the drummer, Esteban, the stand-up bass player, and Angel on the fiddle. Found a snappy name for the band. They called it the Duncan Shadrack Band, believe it or not. And they're just great. You're going to be hearing from Duncan pretty soon. We have Puerto Vallarta news and more. So let's see what's happening this week in Puerto Vallarta, the 12th day of February, 2026. Some very sad news for the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show family. My dear friend JR, John Russell, passed away a couple weeks ago. He passed away on the 18th of January. John was born in 1940, so he was 85 years old. And I met JR about 10 years ago at one of his meetups. I've told the story before. He used to meet over at Kelly's Por Favor Saloon and Cookhouse for a long time. And my first conversation with him, he mentioned that he was having trouble getting people to buy his tours. It was then, in a very weak moment, that I proposed a podcast to help him promote his tour selling business that he had at vallartainfo.com. And that's the tour website that I pitch every week on the show, every show that I produce. And anyway, after explaining what a podcast was, JR says to me, "So that sounds like a lot of work, Barry." And I responded, "It's not a lot of work for you. It would be a lot of work for me." And at the time when I met JR on that fateful day, he happened to be serving as one of the local experts for the Puerto Vallarta area in the forum section of TripAdvisor. If you're familiar with this very popular travel website, you can find these forums for all the cities and countries that TripAdvisor covers. Potential visitors will write in questions to local experts in order to get a feel for what to expect when they arrive at a particular destination. It's actually pretty cool. It's a great little travel tool. If you've never used it, maybe you should go take a look at it. It's kind of impressive. I've had several of these actual local experts actually on this show. Well, JR, he used his designation as an area expert to his advantage. He used to invite those folks who were asking questions on TripAdvisor, if they wanted to come to his meetups, he'd invite them to the meetups that he would have over at Kelly's. And it was at one of those meet and greets that he would build personal relationships with these tourists. as an area expert on the TripAdvisor forum, then he might occasionally slip in a recommendation to someone who posted a question, someone who was going to, come to Vallarta. He might say, hey, visit my Vallarta info website and check out my tours, check out my maps. But TripAdvisor, they didn't like that because TripAdvisor sells tours, and they also sell, they make reservations at hotels. That's how they make their money. And so they banned him. That's what they did. They banned him from the forum. They stripped him of his local expert status, and he didn't know what to do. So it was that moment that he sent me an email, and he said, hey, what's this podcasting thing all about? Let's give it a try. So anyway, I told him that we would model the show after the TripAdvisor forum in a way, and that we would interview him. I would interview him, and we would talk about the most common things that come up in these forums, like how to exchange money, how do you take a bus, how do you take a taxi, what to expect when you arrive at the airport, when's the best time of year to visit, stuff like that, or maybe the mosquito situation. What to use to avoid those mosquitoes, stuff like that. And I ended up calling the show the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. And today there are 263 episodes of the show, thanks to him and to you. 10 years of work, and 10 years after that fateful first meeting at JR's meet and greet over at Kelly's Puerto Vallarta Saloon and Cookhouse, where I started a long-term relationship with an older man from London, England, and JR was always gracious enough to allow me to crash his meetups. Whenever I came into town, he would let me record interviews, and that was invaluable to the show. I found over the years, still to this day, actually, that at those meet and greets is where I've actually met people who are now some of my closest friends, and you know who you are, and I'll be talking about some of you shortly. But on top of that, the interviews that I had with these travelers at his meet and greets were some of the best interviews and informative interviews that I've had on the show. JR at 85 lived a full and colorful life. He lived it on his terms, and like I said, he was an Englishman in paradise, and he left an impression on just about everybody that he interacted with. Sometimes it was good, sometimes not so good, but hey, nobody's perfect. But JR truly loved to meet those Puerto Vallarta visitors who, they'd come and they'd sit with them and they'd soak up all the news and the information and all the, want to find out what's going on in town. And he'd share this news with his new and his old friends. They were first timers as well as Vallarta veterans that would come, and they would come to his meet and greets. And as I would have to say, many of them made a, yearly pilgrimage to meet up with JR, building friendships and relationships and bonds with total strangers. That's what he did. And, made close friends out of all of them, and all from all over the world, right? It kind of sounds familiar. It sounds like very familiar. But JR had been battling what the doctors had told him was a case of gastritis. So for over a year, and as it turned out, it was much more than gastritis. He was on the INM medical plan, the medical system here in Mexico. It's their healthcare system. That's the public one, and they lacked the proper tools to do things like see down his throat. And finally, after many tries, and his friends actually stepped in, and they got him into a local hospital where they stuck a scope down his throat, and there they found a growth on his esophagus. They determined it was cancerous, and what would happen is that this growth would become infected when he ate solid foods. So his body just began rejecting most of the solid food that he was eating. and he basically just slowly kind of wasted away. The doctors had actually indicated that they were going to try to remove the growth, but after they did an additional body scan, they found, in addition to the esophagus, the cancer had spread to his liver, to his lungs, and so the doctors decided not to operate at all, which was a death sentence in reality. When you think about it, he continued to waste away, and he did. And he fell a couple times in his apartment due to the fact that he was progressively getting weaker. So some very good friends of his took him from his apartment to a care facility in Cinco de Diciembre when he was really, really sick. And they checked him in, and sadly, remarkably and sadly, he passed away the next day. JR had been living in his apartment up in El Coloso for 16 years. And I know that there are those of you who have actually had the pleasure of visiting him there in his apartment up there in El Coloso. If you did, you had the very unusual experience of trying to find a chair that wouldn't fall apart when you sat down into it. Most of his furniture had been devoured by termites over the years, and but he was cool. He sat in a very comfy steel-framed office chair. But that was always fun, trying to identify something that you could sit on in his apartment. But it's been a very sad few weeks for me and all of his friends from all around the globe. There is a memorial service that's planned for JR at Nacho Daddy, a place where he held his meet and greets at the end. Actually, for many years until the end, I should say. And it's going to be Friday the 13th, February 13th. That's tomorrow, beginning at 4 p.m., ending at 6 if you're in town. Stop by. It's going to be followed by ash scattering near the Muelle on Playa Los Muertos, right after the memorial service. So, yeah, like I said, if you're in town, if you're planning to be in town, if you knew JR, you want to pay your final respects, make sure to come to Nacho Daddy on Basilio Badillo tomorrow, Friday 13th, from 4 o'clock until 6 o'clock. JR, he loved the sea, not the beach so much. You know, sand can be kind of messy. But we'll be scattering his ashes in the bay. I have a clip of JR talking about his first trip to Puerto Vallarta in 1978 and then sailing back a boat that was called the White Cloud 2. The clip is about 16 minutes long. It's from a podcast I produced in August of 2018. So you can skip ahead if you've already heard it, if you've already been there and done that, right? So, but if not, it's kind of cool to take a trip down memory lane just for a moment and hear JR's voice again. So let's go. Let's listen to the story about the sailboat, White Cloud 2.
Okay, what brought me down here the first time? I was living in Venice, Venice Beach, California, and I got into sailing in Marina del Rey, and a friend of mine, Larry, he and I got involved in the Wednesday night races and such like, and he was a great seat-of-the-pants sailor. But his parents had a boat down here. They'd been sitting here for 5 years, and they wanted to get it back to the U.S. and sell it. Larry, as I said, was a great sailor, but he didn't know how to navigate. And I did. Not only that, I had a sextant, because in those days, that was about the only thing that was going to work. There was no electronic. They had some electronic stuff, but it was very inaccurate. Anyhow, so we all come down here. He, I, and several other friends of ours, and we get down to the boat, and the boat had been looked after by his brother. It might have been best if he hadn't been looking after it. Larry's mum and dad had been living here for some time, and his dad got some sort of charter to go to Isla Isabella or actually to pick up people to take to Isabella, which is off the coast of Mazatlan. We take off, and before reaching the island, the engine seized up. There's a long story involved with that, but I won't get into that right now. But the engine seized up solid. We managed to sail in and anchor at the island, and Cousteau's son's boat, the Chevernard, I think it was called, was there, and we knew that from Marina del Rey. And there was a Kiwi New Zealand engineer on that boat, and he came onto our boat with the biggest crowbar I've ever seen and put it in the teeth of the flywheel and tried to break free the engine seizure without success. After that, it was obvious we had to sail back to get repairs.
Yeah.
And we did manage to sail back. There's a long story about all of this, but eventually we get back. And the engine has to be taken out and dismantled inside the boat because there's no way. I mean, this is a boat that was built in 1930, a 71-foot staysail schooner designed by John Alden, a very famous designer, but in really bad shape. We found out a lot more about that later. Anyhow, so the engine had to be taken apart and rebuilt. So consequently, I and the rest of the crew took off to Yelapa, and before that we partied like crazy in Carlos O'Brien's, which was the place on the Malecon,
yes,
about the only bar, lively bar on the Malecon. We partied a lot in that. We were living on the boat, right?
Uh-huh.
The road to
I'll
the
bet you that probably, didn't attract women to the, having a beautiful, this huge schooner there, right? That probably didn't.
Yeah, but it was out in the marina. The marina then was just solid docks, and there was nothing else there.
Oh, so
just north of the marina was just mangrove swamp all the way. There was no Nueva Vallarta. There was no condos. There was nothing. And the road, which is the road to the airport, was 2 lanes dirt. Okay, this is going back a way. Anyhow, so we take off to Yelapa and we just party up in Yelapa. And we were in Yelapa about 10 days, 2 weeks before the engine was finally fixed. And then we eventually took off. And we managed to get back.
Yeah.
The boat leaked like a sieve. The hull, the deck, it was like living at a waterfall.
Wow.
And then underneath the sole, which is the floor, what we call the floor on a boat, there were little waterfalls over the frames from the water coming through the hull.
Oh,
luckily, the bilge pumps worked, and they worked a lot. I was navigator, okay, and actually I did pretty good. But in order to navigate with a sextant, you have to start with what is called the assumed position, and that is determined by direction and time. It's called dead reckoning, right, from your last position. In other words, the helmsman is given a heading to steer, and there's a log that records how far you've traveled, and that should take you to the next place. Except we had 2 on watch. Okay, one guy behind the helm, and then he would switch over to the other guy. But there was a guy, Rick, who was a really amusing guy and everything, and a great raconteur. And his partner was Fisherman Bob, who wore glasses. And it was very wet in the cockpit, going against the weather, and quite a lot of spray and everything. And Rick would sit in the cover of the cabin and chat and keep Fisherman Bob awake. Problem was, Fisherman Bob couldn't see the compass rose. he could see the big arrow that was north,
Right.
and he tried to keep that in the same position, but he couldn't actually see
The
where
degrees.
we were actually headed.
Yeah.
And consequently, I had dead reckonings that put us ashore. Anyhow, but subsequently, after we got back, I went back through the log and did all the calculations again, and I was right on, and that made me feel very good. But oh man, we had so many problems. I mean, amazing. But we made it. Inside of the Marina del Rey breakwater, Larry picked up the floorboard in the aft cabin, and the water was maybe half an inch from the floor.
Oh my God! You can read this.
What had happened is the float switches on the bilge pumps have a float switch, and when the water gets up, it switches on, and when it goes down, it switches off. These had broken and became defective. So we rigged up a manual switch for the other person on watch, so he would turn it on for like 10 minutes and then off for 20 minutes. And then on again for 10 minutes, rather than because the water was coming in that fast.
Yeah.
So Larry looks at this water, obviously hasn't been pumping. And then we just discovered that the circuit breaker in the nav station someone had hit the circuit breaker, and there was no power going to the bilge pumps. Oh. Okay, but Larry was like, "Oh my God, we're gonna sink inside of the boat after all the trials and tribulations we've had. We're gonna sink inside of the inside of Marina del Rey breakwater." Anyhow, bottom thing, we did get back, and all was fine, and eventually took the boat up to Channel Island Marina, and took it out of the water to work on it.
Yeah, great marina there. That's where I've got my boats too. That's neat. What a great story that is. So how long was that? How long did that trip take you from Vallarta to Marina del Rey?
Well, with all the breakdowns and everything, what should have been like 3 weeks was like 2.5 months. But to ruin my business, I was a professional photographer in Los Angeles, shooting products for advertising, and I lost a lot of clients because of that. In a way, it was a blessing in disguise because my business was such that I would get a 5-figure check-in, but would run out of that before I finished writing out checks that I owed. Subsequently, I started working in the marina doing electrical, plumbing, and such like work on boats. And I was making more money doing that than I was as a professional photographer. I mean, when I finished writing out checks, I had to stop mailing a couple of them so that I could go to Safeway and buy some food and get cash, for the next week.
Yeah.
But after working on the boats, the fridge was full. I had money in my pocket all the time. Not only that, I'd wander into these kind of cattle bars. What do you call them? Bars with lots of women looking around.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When I was photographer, I was all tarted up and everything. I'd walk in, I was invisible,
Yeah, no kidding.
So in the marina, I'm dirty jeans. I've been working on the boat. Oh, I need a beer. I go into one of these bars, and every woman's eyes in the whole bar rotated towards me. Da 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 da.
And then with that accent, man, you just killed it.
Oh no! But this was before my mouth. By the way, the name of the boat is White Cloud 2. It was eventually sold to a guy called Paul down in San Diego, who was a sailmaker, and he raced it quite a bit. Schooner races, which I also was involved in. And then he took off to the Pacific, and he eventually got an offer to buy it from somebody in Australia. And on the way, the boat got hit by what we call a rogue wave, like a really steep bad wave, and it broke apart what they call the garboard strake. The garboard strake is the first plank above the keel. Being a sailmaker, he naturally put a sail over to hope that a sail would get sucked in and stop the leakage, but it wasn't going to work. It slowed it down enough that he was able to contact friends on the ham radio to come and rescue them. And they anchored in inside of a reef or down sea from a reef, so it wasn't in a dangerous position. Got out their sewing machines and all their canvas and started sewing up big bags, put everything in it they wanted to take with them, put the trophies on the main salon table, dressed the boat in flags, bunting from bow to stern, to the top of the mast and stern, and then he pulled the plug and to his friends had come and he pulled the plug and let her go down.
Wow.
There was I still have an article that was in the San Diego newspaper about that.
Interesting. I've got a couple of great. Well, John's got a couple of great photos here of the boat and of him standing on the bow there.
On the bowsprit,
bowsprit.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's a little funny story. When the boat originally left, before it came back to Puerto Vallarta, it went to the Caribbean. On the way to the Caribbean in Panama, one of the original crew members saw another Alden boat anchored in Panama for sale, a very nice-looking yawl, and he left the crew and bought it. And that's the last they heard of him until, well, on our way back, we pull into Cabo San Lucas, an anchor, and we're sitting there having sunset cocktails as usual. And now he sees this boat coming in and he says, I kind of recognize that boat. And it's this guy, Josh. That was his name. Name filters through. Josh. And it was Josh. And he had not returned for 5 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And we meet up in Cabo San Lucas after 5 years.
Okay. So,
right. So we got drunk as it was that night, and Josh wasn't there in the morning. We found his bead necklace, the beads from his bead necklace all over the deck. He jumped off and swam back to his boat. Right. So we'd arranged to have a race up the coast, right?
Uh-huh.
So we sneak out real early and fuel up at the dock and take off. On the way up the coast, when you go up the coast, you got the wind against you and the seas against you, and this boat was leaking and working really hard, so we had to tack off. And we tacked off, really wide tacks, like 100 miles off the coast before we're going to tack again. And we're about 100 miles off the coast, and we see a sail behind us. God, no, if it isn't Josh, who catches up with us and takes the picture that you see of me standing on the bowsprit.
Ah, that is a great story. Okay, all right. I'll take a picture of that and I'll put it in the show notes so you can see that. Wow, that's a funny story. So he stopped and got off the boat when it was on its way to Vallarta.
When it was on its way to the Caribbean, on its way down.
On the way down.
Before it came back. Because it was 5 years.
Okay.
5 years later.
Okay, that makes sense then, all that time then.
Yeah.
What a great story. Okay, I'll have a picture of that in the show notes for this episode, so check it out.
And there's all the story about Cuba. But we're getting that's another story.
Okay, we'll talk about Cuba another time. All right. Oh, that kind of gives you chills, doesn't it? Don't forget, that memorial for JR is tomorrow, Friday the 13th of February. If you are so inclined, come on by. Hey, the pirate ship's back. Well, the replacement for the famous pirate ship, the Margalante, Vallarta's famous ship, known for her swashbuckling tours, and then sank in the bay in front of the Sheraton Hotel a couple months back. Well, she's finally got her replacement, the Margalante 2, and this boat looks bigger and better than the original. And if you've ever wanted to take either the daytime or nighttime tour, now is the time to save some pesos. Either tour one departing in the morning, the other in the evening for their sunset dinner cruise, which ends with a fireworks show for the locals and the tourists. And the Malecon is now being offered at a 55% discount till February 28th, 2026. And I have a link to their special offer in the show notes. Hey, I've been updating my website for the podcast over at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com. And, after about 9 years of podcasting and blogging, I've decided I need to go back to my website, to all the blog posts from the very first episodes of the show, and then forward and update them. And I plan to update all 264 of my blog posts, which, by the way, are referred to as my show notes. A lot of people ask me, where do you find the show notes? Well, these are the blog posts. So the blogs, the transcripts, the podcasts, complete with pictures, audio players, everything so that you can listen to the podcast and read it if you want to. And over the years, things have changed. Basic things like, arriving in Mexico. You don't need to fill out those nasty FMM forms anymore. Remember those? Nope, no longer necessary. They even have those biometric entry gates at most Mexican airports, including the one here in Puerto Vallarta. That is when they're working. So it's, all about making the website easier to use and more up to date for the newbies who are coming to the page for the first time, and for you. And how do you find my website? Those show notes, well, you find them at, www.puertovallartatravelshow.com. Do a Google search. And when you get there, just click on the menu. Menu tab is at the top of the page. And look for the tab that says show notes and blog. And then you click on that and you'll find all my blog posts in order of the last episode. It's really that easy. I've been checking through the site for dead links and making changes where they're needed. And then there's those interviews that I've done where restaurants gone out of business. I mean, not every business survives in Puerto Vallarta, right? In fact, it's hard to survive in Puerto Vallarta if you are a restaurateur. So, and speaking of dead links, I spent a lot of time updating and actually growing my Puerto Vallarta webcam page, because over the years, many of those webcams that I featured on the page have also disappeared. Remember, there was the Cuates y Cuetes webcam. I mean, the cam is still there, but it doesn't work. It hasn't worked for years. I mean, it's gone. But actually, in its place, what I did is I added the new Daiquiri Dix webcam. And what it does is it records live video south down the Los Muertos beach from the rooftop at Daiquiri Dix over the beach. And it's aimed down the beach towards El Muelle, towards the pier. And it's great for, sunset, for example. You could totally see a sunset this time of year through that camera. Then in the romantic zone, they've got a really great live webcam over at Thrive Med Spa over on Basilio Badillo. It's a great, great live webcam. It's on my page. I added it. It's the first one that you'll see when you click on that page. It does a live 180-degree sweep up and down Basilio Badillo. It's really the bomb. You can see who's at the liquor store across the street. So anyway, go to it. Go to PuertoVallartaTravelShow.com. Go to the webcam tab in the menu. Click on that, and welcome to paradise. If you're freezing in Canada or the upper stretches of the United States, or I guess it was freezing in Florida not long ago. Anyway, if you're missing a little bit of paradise, you'll be really glad that you did. Go to the page. Go to the webcam page. Hey, I had my first meetup since we moved to Puerto Vallarta. It happened about a month back. I didn't discuss it on the podcast, but I posted it on the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show Facebook page, and we had 3 couples show up, and we had separate adventures with each of those couples. I wanted to share with you at least 1 or 2 of those adventures. First, our fun foodie friends from New York, Russ and Susie, who've been on the show. They suggested we go to the Sunday brunch at restaurant Las Guapanoles up at Canopy River Park. You know where that is, up on the mountain. They have zip lines and razors and ATV vehicles. They've got tours. They've got horseback riding. And now they even have a hotel up there, complete with a swimming pool. And one of the major attractions is the Hurulo Bridge, which is the longest vehicular suspension bridge in the world. And it hangs over a steep canyon with the quality. I believe that's the quality that runs through it. And the property is way up past La Huerta Bar. It's way up there. It's about 25 minutes from Zona Romantica. So Susie did all the planning and made all the reservations. We met up at the Canopy River Park office, which is in Zona Romantica. We checked in at the office. We boarded their version of that tram that they have in Jurassic Park. Yeah, they got a version of that, and we rode up the hill up to the park. The brunch was huge, lots of food, tons to eat. I wouldn't call it gourmet, but it's good. It's good. Very authentic food. Lots of locals were there with their families. Lots of birthday celebrations. It was very sweet. There was live entertainment while you ate. So there was dancing horses. They had folkloric dancers, mariachi music, and singing, and the view. The view from there is just spectacular. It's so pretty. It's green with all the mountains, and and sometimes you can see the bay. On a real clear day, you can actually see a little glimpse of the bay. The service was top notch as well, and then after you eat, if you got the energy, you can cross the Jurulio Bridge at a discounted price of just 100 pesos per person. It's about $6 US. And that's about a 200 peso discount because regularly they charge 295 pesos to cross that bridge if you haven't had brunch. And as I said, you need to be in pretty good shape to cross that bridge. It dips, right? It's a suspension bridge, so it dips. And then you got to make a climb to get up to the other side. But the view is breathtakingly beautiful. From the bridge, you can see the river and the zip liners zipping below you. It's really cool. It's a terrific experience. Take some pictures. And I did take some pictures. You can look at them in the show notes. The walk back, by the way, on the bridge in the other direction is much easier. We hopped back on their tram at a prearranged time, and then we were dropped off in Zona Romantica, all safe and sound. So I think the total cost was approximately, I think it came to about $50 per person, and that included the transportation as well. It was a great deal. And hey, you can go up there, by the way, not for the brunch. You can go up there any day of the week. They serve lunch and breakfast. I think they serve dinner up there too, up at that restaurant. We've done it in the past. It's much quieter if you do it without the big crowds there. At the same view, but no dancing horses or singers or nothing like that. But the food's delicious. And it's you can do it any day of the week. You don't have to go there for brunch. Then Russ and Susie also took us to one of their favorite beach spots, Playa Palmares. You know that place? Have you ever been there? I had never been there. We go past it all the time. It's on the Carretera. It's on the Highway 200. As you travel down towards Mismaloya. Just before you get to Mismaloya, that's where you will find Playa Palmares. And the way you get there, of course, is you need to take that Mismaloya bus. And it's a Mismaloya Boca bus, I guess they would call it. And you grab that bus in the Zona Romantica. You can find it in Constitucion, and Basilio Badillo. I'll have a map to that in the show notes if you don't know where it is. The price is still 10 pesos per person, not the 14 pesos I heard they hiked the bus fares up to. Actually, that was supposed to happen the first of the year, and I guess the change hasn't taken effect yet, but it will. It will soon. So be ready for that big increase from 10 to 14 pesos to get on a bus. You don't need to get on a bus, okay? You just don't. You can take a taxi or an Uber, but if you're going to be going down, to Mismaloya, that's the thing to do is to take a bus. Make sure when you get on the bus, you tell the bus driver that you want him to stop at Playa Palmares, and tell him that as you get on the bus, right? And chances are, by the way, there's going to be others that are going to want to get off there too. Some might be getting off at the stop before Palmares. It's Playa Punta Negra, and there's like 3 condos that are built right on the beach there. And if you get off at the Playa Punta Negra, which is the one before Palmares, you're going to take a long, steep stairway all the way down to the beach from that bus stop. But if it's your first time, what I'd suggest you do is tell the driver again, Playa Palmares, por favor, and then make sure that you let him know, like I said, the minute you get on the bus. And when he drops you off there's a restaurant called Canto Palmares, which you can see from the road. And I always wanted to stop there, and I wondered, what was it like? But hey, I was always going from Vallarta somewhere else, past it, or back, So, boy, I found out I was missing out. And you are too if you haven't been there yet. Now here's the thing. You can either stop there, just stop right there, go eat and drink at the restaurant, which I highly recommend, by the way, but you don't have to do that right away. That's for those of you actually who just don't want to get your toes sandy and wet, okay? But what I recommend you do is you walk down to the beach, which is just beautiful. The sand is white and soft, and the water is swimmable in certain spots. It kind of reminds me of Playa Las Animas, without the beach restaurants, without all the hustle and bustle. If you get there on a weekday, and I suggest you do it on a weekday, you have a much better chance of getting yourself they got some plastic tables with umbrellas and chairs, and you pay 100 pesos per chair per person to sit at these tables. You get your own table and sit by yourself or sit with another couple. But or all your friends, bring more than two. Why not? Anyway, the table will be yours all day, or for as long as you wish. And my suggestion is the tables that are closest to the restaurant, they have the advantage of being close to a pretty nice bathroom. So it's like 10 pesos, to get in that bathroom. So make sure you got some change, or make sure you got something. And they've got a snack bar actually in that bathroom, the one that's near the restaurant. So keep that in mind. Toilet and snacks. I mean, come on, don't they go together? They don't serve food or drinks other than that little snack bar for those particular tables. So bring your own picnic. You can do it. Bring your own, food. Bring your own lunch. Bring your own booze. Bring your own smokes. Make it a day. You could sit there for 100 pesos each at one of these chairs on the beach with a bathroom, right? And you could just sit there all day. But what I suggest you do is afterwards you go to Canto Palmares, the Canto Palmares. And we did. Afterwards we went for drinks. We had a late lunch, and I got to say, it was really good. It was delicious food. And the staff, they're great. They're a lot of fun. It's a great people watching spot. Yeah. And they had a DJ there who's spinning some great Mexican tunes while you enjoy the view and you have yourself some great food. You look up north and you're seeing Vallarta. You look south and you're seeing Los Arcos. It's just beautiful. And we actually saw whales playing right in front of the restaurant, which made it even sweeter. Make sure that you check out their bathroom. The bathroom is on the top floor of the restaurant. It has a urinal with a view. And I got to tell you, it's a very special place. I had a very special moment there at the urinal. That's all I'm going to say about that. Give it a try. Ladies, you can look out it too. It's a shared bathroom. It's okay. Anyway, you'll see what I'm talking about. And I'll be doing an interview, by the way, with the folks over at Canto Palmares really soon. They're a lot of fun. I really like those guys, and I like that restaurant. By the way, you can take that Mismaloya Boca bus back to Vallarta. You just cross the highway, you wait for the bus to come, but let me tell you, it will be packed. It always is. There's usually going to be a standing room only if you can even get on. So what I suggest you do is you take a taxi back into town. Both times that we did that, when one taxi driver charged us 150 pesos, and the other driver wanted 200 pesos to take us to Zona Romantica. So not a bad price to pay for not having to stand on a bus all the way back into town with sand in your butt crack, right? And all that beach stuff hanging from your arms. I guarantee you will have a much easier time if you take that taxi. I have pictures, by the way, of the beach and of Canto Palmares, the restaurant there. in the show notes. So thank you, Susie and Russ. We now have our new favorite beach spot in paradise. All the southern beach benefits without that long ride, and that panga trip is really sweet. You will enjoy it. Take my word for it. I'll tell you about our other day trip to Mito with our friends Chris and Gilbert from Denver the next time we get together. I received an email from a listener named Brittany. She brought to my attention that friends of the show, Reed and Miranda Mortimer, these are the owners and creators of Manzone Brewing Company. They are on Venustiano Carranza in Zona Romantica. Well, they need our help. Let me read this email to you. It starts, Hola, my name is Brittany, and I moved here with my family in June of last year. We were lucky enough to find your podcast right before we moved and learned so many helpful things that made for a little softer landing as we packed up everything and started over in a new country. The other thing that has helped us immensely was meeting Reed and Miranda Mortimer. Reed and Miranda own Manzone Brewery, and you actually interviewed them back in 2017. I first met Miranda at the local bilingual children's library, La Bib. She immediately sensed my newness and overwhelm, moving to a new country with young kids, and basically became an instant friend. Her and Reed have helped us find schools, doctors, pediatricians, government offices, and just generally helped us navigate our new life here. They are truly our Mexico angels, and we feel so deeply grateful to have found their friendship. I'm writing to you because their family recently learned that their youngest child has cystic fibrosis. This is devastating news, and they're slowly figuring out what their new lives are going to look like as well. Right now, their most immediate need is financial support to help get back and forth from Guadalajara and other cities for medical care, along with the cost of medications and treatments. And I was hoping that you could share their GoFundMe page with your audience in the hopes that more folks in the community will learn about their circumstances and be willing to help. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your work. It is much appreciated. And what a long journey Reed and Miranda and their youngest child, well, their whole family are going to have ahead of them. And if you can ease the burden with a donation of any size, look for the link to their GoFundMe page in the show notes to this episode. It explains a little bit more of the situation, talks a little bit more of what's going to go on and how you can help. So anyway, go to the show notes for this episode at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com, the Shadrack Band, country music in Puerto Vallarta, and take a look at the GoFundMe page. And speaking of that, hey, let's get to our guest, shall we? Let's do it. Live music is alive and well in Puerto Vallarta. I've spoken at length about all the cool venues from Vallarta to Bucerias, where great local bands rotate through these clubs. It's mostly classic rock and current rock and roll tunes, but over the years, we've seen some country music bands sneaking in, making their rounds in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. And I judge a country band by how much my wife likes them, because she is the country western expert in my life. And she really liked Duncan Shadrack and this Duncan Shadrack Band. The band has a stand-up bass player, and they got a killer fiddle player, a steady drummer, and of course Duncan. Duncan's a real showman on the acoustic guitar. He kind of reminds me, he reminds my wife actually, of that parrot head guy, Jimmy Buffett. You know that guy? Actually, I agree with her. I really like him, and you will too. So let's go right now to one of my favorite restaurants in Puerto Vallarta, where the seafood is fresh, the margaritas are killer, and the space is magical. Right above the noise in Zona Romantica, across the street from all those taco stands alongside Farmacia Guadalajara on Lázaro Cárdenas, at Lázaro Cárdenas 355, and my favorite little restaurant, Restaurant San Lucas. Let's meet Duncan Shadrack of the Duncan Shadrack Band, playing country music in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Duncan, thanks for coming on the podcast.
Oh, happy to be here.
Tell my listeners a little bit about yourself. Where are you from, and what was your path that led you to Puerto Vallarta?
Well, I'm from Kentucky. Originally, I spent a lot of my career in Seattle, did lot of music there. Went back to Kentucky, and I've been coming to Puerto Vallarta for over 15 years. And every time it's a little bit more, a little bit more. And finally, I just decided that this was the place for me and for my wife. And we came here and we just bought a place about a year ago, and now we live here. It's great.
Wow. All right. So what's your favorite part about Puerto Vallarta?
It has to be the people here. I love the people are kind and generous and it's just and I tell people this, when in the United States at least there's a lot of noise. People are upset or angry about so many things, and they look for things to be angry about. You come here and all the noise goes away, and that people are just here for all the same reasons, just to get along and have a great time with one another. And I just love it here.
Yeah, well said. How about what's the strangest thing or the craziest thing about living in Mexico? To you, you've been here now for a year full time, right? So,
oh man, there's a lot of things. Well, so I lived through the summer in the heat, which isn't as bad as people say it is. It's actually pretty great, I think. Other than the language, getting used to the driving here and somewhat following the rules, and what to do if you get stopped by somebody. But it doesn't happen very often, but you adapt pretty quickly to what it means to be in here in Mexico, to how they operate here.
Yeah, absolutely do. All right, well, good. Well, now you are a musician. You have you play rock. You play country rock, right? Most of the
I say that's a good description.
You say?
Yeah.
Well, tell me. I mean, who are your favorite rock and rollers that you like to sing their songs? I mean, what's your favorite?
I'm kind of when it comes to music, I'm kind of all over the place. So I like a lot of the old bands. Boston Styx, bands like that. I'm a big Elton John fan, a big James Taylor fan. And all the country guys,
Right.
I love all the country guys. I'm from Kentucky, so,
That's the
a lot
deal.
of country music in Kentucky, yeah.
Well, that's the deal. Well, country music in Mexico, we do find it here in
Yes.
Puerto Vallarta. And you've been playing now in Vallarta for how long?
For probably almost 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you started off as a single, as a single show, right? As a soloist?
Yes, I just played guitar and sang, and that took me a while to get my feet wet here, just because I was a new person.
Yeah, I
in
mean,
town.
how is that? How hard is that to actually, get up on a stage and play your guitar without being known?
Well, the getting on the stage and playing and singing is something I've done for years, but it's being patient with people that don't know you, and then who will eventually give you the opportunity to maybe play in their place and allow you to show them that what you bring to the table. And so they're skeptical at first, which is understandable.
Right.
But once you break that, we'll say once you break that ceiling and you get what you're playing someplace, then it's a little bit easier, because then you can let other people know that, hey, I play at this place. If you want to come see me play.
Yeah.
Right. So it works out really well once you get your foot in the door.
Once you get your foot in the door. Where'd you get your foot in the door first here in Vallarta?
Langostinos.
Yeah.
Langostinos on the beach.
On the beach.
Yes. I went by there so many times, and then they said, well, why don't you come by this night? They didn't have a musician there. And I said, sure, I'll come by. And I had my little speaker and my travel guitar, and I played a show for them, and I've been playing there ever since.
Oh, yeah, that's great. Now you, that's as a soloist?
Yes.
You don't bring the boys with you there?
No, it's just a small area.
Yeah. So how'd you meet your band? How did that all come together?
Well, there's a band called Los Wendigos. And last year, I think it was last year, in the last year, their singer had some emergency things he had to do. So they had heard about me through the grapevine that I sang country, so they asked me to fill in. So I filled in for 3 shows with them, and then in the off season, 3 of the members asked if I would like to be in a band with them, and so we started our own version, is a country version, but we have an upright bass, a fiddle player, drummer, and me. So it's a little different, but we've been playing it ever since together.
You've got 2 Mexican nationals. You have a player from
Argentina.
Yes. That's the UN right over there.
It's
Look at that.
wonderful.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, tell us a little bit about each one. Tell us about the stand-up bass player. What's his name? And
His name's Esteban.
Yeah.
He's the one from Argentina, and he's just a wonderful musician. I mean, he lives music, and he's just as kind of a guy as he is as good of a musician as he is. And he's the one who approached me first and said, "Hey, you want to be in this band?" And just enjoy him. He's great.
Oh, he is great. He's great to watch, and he's very, very talented. Does he play the regular bass at all? You ever see him play the bass guitar?
He does play the regular bass, but I think he pretty much plays exclusively with the Shadrack Band now.
Okay.
But if he does, he's able to play the regular bass. I've seen him play it before. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, he just likes the upright bass. He thinks it's cool.
Oh, it is cool. It is. It's a beautiful instrument too. He's got a very nice bass. Okay, tell us about the fiddle player.
Angel.
Where's he from? Where's he from in Mexico? Do you know?
I don't know where they are from in Mexico.
Right.
Angel's amazing. I mean, I don't know. I don't think there's a fiddle player in this area that's any better than him. He can play anything. He adapts. He's just talented, and he's charming, which helps,
Yeah.
And the ladies think he's really cute, so that helps him too.
Doesn't hurt.
Oh, yes. And so, yeah, he's great.
That's always good to have some guy that's very handsome,
Yes.
in your band.
Yeah, he's the looks.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Duncan, I don't know, man. I see the girls, they're looking at them all. They look on them.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Okay. And your drummer?
Manuel. Manuel is like the steady guy, and he's always got a cooler of beer beside him. Yeah, he never shows up without his cooler of beer.
Okay.
But he's steady and he's helpful. He speaks really good English, and so he's very kind to me. And a lot of times I speak the worst Spanish you've ever heard in your life, and he's like, "That's not how you say that," or he'll teach me how to say something. And so just being around them has helped me to become part of the community, I think, because they're just steady like that.
They want to make sure that you got it right.
Yeah, can I tell you a funny story?
Of course.
All
yeah.
right. So at the end of last year, I decided that I was going to maybe learn some Spanish songs to sing.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that would be really cool if I learned some Spanish songs. They're so my Spanish is so questionable that they refuse to let me sing any Spanish songs.
Oh, no.
They said, no, you stick to gringo songs. You stick to that. We don't want you to sing Spanish songs.
Well, the fiddle player does sing, right?
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Yes.
So maybe you can talk him into.
We've had him sing a couple songs. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
good. Okay.
Yeah.
Tell us where are you guys playing right now? Where are the locations that you guys are playing?
Tonight, we play at Oasis from 7 to 10. It's great little place. Sunday is one of the favorite places I play is La Huerta Barbecue.
Yeah.
It's on the river. It's outdoors. It's like every time it's a festival seating. We play there from 1:30 to 3:30 on Sunday. And we have regular shows at Cafe Roma, Captain Don's, and I do some solo shows around the area. I do a weekly show at Langostino's on the beach, and every Wednesday night.
You're true to Langostino's, where you
I have loyalty to them.
Yeah,
I have loyalty to them.
I can see why. Yeah,
and I'll probably play with them until I stop playing music, just because they were the first people to ever give me a chance to play.
Yeah. All right. Listen to you. All right. See, I like that. I like that a lot. So I'm not going to ask you which one's your favorite, because then you get in big trouble. You can't have any of that stuff. No, we don't want to have any any big problems for you. All right, so tell everybody, like what would a set sound like as far as give us like some songs that you'll do like in your first set, let's say, so people know what to expect.
Wow. Well, it's mostly country. So, Fishing in the Dark, like we love to start with that one, or we like to start with some Kenny Chesney stuff. So, we like to start with stuff that's kind of, if we can, kind of beachy, kind of got a really cool, because this is a beachy town.
Yeah.
So we like to start with that. We do some Johnny Cash, and then we're kind of all over the board. Our fiddle player Angel plays Devil Went Down to Georgia like nobody's business. And so I think we're pretty versatile in that way.
Yeah.
But we try to, as much as possible, keep it upbeat for people.
Sure.
So they can have fun. And
so not a lot of I lost my dog and my girlfriend in the truck.
No, I think we have one or two songs that have that kind of feel to them.
Okay.
But some people love them. The true country people, they think when you do some Waylon Jennings or some Merle Haggard, they are happy about that.
They're there. Yeah. It's like, this is what we came for.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
We came for a country band. You have a fiddle and you have an upright bass. You need to pay some Merle Haggard.
Yeah, no, exactly right. Exactly right. Have you played at any, like, do you do like private events? If somebody's got like a wedding, do you guys go to, will you do a wedding?
Oh, yes, we've done quite a few private events, and those come more and more, those private events now, because now that our name's getting out there and people know about us.
Yeah.
We most recently did the Twisted Palms anniversary party, which was wonderful.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
So we play a lot, so private gigs have to be kind of intertwined in there.
Right. You have to work it out, right? It's got to be like, not on the night that I play over here, right?
Yeah. And plus you can't play every day. You just can't.
You can't.
Yeah. I'll get murdered by my wife if I do.
I hear you. Yeah. All right. Let's get away from music for just a little while. Let's talk about the town. Let's talk about like where you like to go and eat, because everybody wants to know where people who live here, they like to go and eat.
Okay.
All right. So how about a date night? If you're going to take your wife out on a date night,
where would
you take her, Duncan?
Well, I would probably start at Chick Teeny for happy hour. It's up.
Where is that?
I can't explain where the building. It's in the south side of the romantic zone.
Okay.
It's top of one of the big condos there, and they have a great happy hour, and you can just watch the most beautiful sunsets from there, and it's perfect.
Okay.
It's one of my favorite places.
All right. So they're going to start there.
Yeah. Well, like any smart man would, I take my wife where she wants to go now, because she would like to go to Republic. It used to be called Fajita Republic. That's one of her places that she likes. And there is an Italian place, and I'm sorry, it slips my mind, in the marina that she loves. It's right on the water.
Okay.
But if I had my choice, I would go to Los Muertos Brewery and have a pizza there. It's amazing, great pizza, great atmosphere. I'm really simple. I don't need anything too elaborate, but Isabella's, if you really want to have a romantic dinner up on the hill.
Yeah, Casa Isabel.
Casa Isabel.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful place to have dinner, and just breathtaking views.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You can also get a good happy hour there. She does happy hour as well. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. No, and you can see a sunset there too. But I like your idea of getting way up on top of a building there and just checking that out, because there's nothing in your way up there, is there?
Give me a beer and a sunset, and I'm a happy guy. That's all I need. Really.
I love it. Do you ever wake up early enough to get a breakfast?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually,
Where's your favorite breakfast
well,
spot?
again, I like a place called La Ruta, which is
Okay.
right downtown. The breakfast there is amazing. If you like French toast, you got to go to La Ruta.
Really?
I think they make their own bread, but it's really great. And my wife likes Lapa Lapa. You know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about?
Oh,
She
yeah.
likes the breakfast down there. It's a little more fancy than La Ruta.
Right. I bet. Yes, it is.
And then there's one, oh my gosh, I'm trying to think of the name of it. And she loves Fluffy's.
Okay.
Have you heard of it?
Yeah, sure. We've been to Fluffy's.
Oh my gosh. She loves the Fluffy.
Yeah.
It's like a pancake that they've injected with air.
Exactly. It tastes
it's
like
pretty
a
amazing, though.
marshmallow. I mean,
It
it's
does
like,
taste like a marshmallow.
right?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
It
yeah.
does taste like a marshmallow.
Oh, okay.
But that's one thing about Puerto Vallarta. It's just the old town. There's restaurants everywhere, and you can find your favorite one. They're all different, and they're all special in their own way. And so everyone finds their own little hole in the wall, and they love it there.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. What about a lunch spot? You got any favorite lunch spots?
You know, I forgot to give you one.
Yeah.
Pancho's Tacos.
Pancho's. Oh, yeah.
It's our fave. You got to stand in line a little bit sometimes to go there, but
You do.
lunch place, just the taco places. There's some really great little tacos. Tacos Dorado right over here. I don't know what street that's on.
Yeah, well, I know the one you're
talking.
talking about. It's on Venustiano Carranza. I think it looks.
Yeah.
It's like a garage.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember the
Amazing.
name of it. Yes. Okay.
They sell tacos till they run out every day,
Yeah.
and they're amazing. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Great.
Oh yeah. Very good.
And they have horchata there, which I
Yeah.
love.
You like the horchata?
Oh, I
huh?
love it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well. All right. I'm always afraid of a rice drink. It's just
Yeah?
maybe I don't know. It's sweet, right? It's just
It is.
sweet.
It's just sweet.
Okay. I'm gonna have to try it. If you had a word of advice for a first-time traveler coming to Puerto Vallarta, other than come see the Shadrack Band or come
Yes.
see me, what would that be? What would that word of advice be?
Gosh, what would my word of advice be? Is don't stay in an all-inclusive. I mean, there are some wonderful, wonderful all-inclusives, but you're missing what this town can offer you. And because it is active and wonderful, and there's so much to do and so much to see. And if you stick yourself in a hotel and you don't leave, you're missing out, because there's more than the hotel zone for people. And like where I'm from in Kentucky, when I told them my friends I was moving to Mexico, they thought I was out of my mind. They're like, "Oh my gosh, it's so dangerous." I'm like, it's not dangerous at all. I've been coming here for 15 years, and I've never ever felt unsafe or in any bad position. And so if anybody's telling you that it's unsafe, it's not true. Just, you have to be smart here, just like you have to be smart anywhere.
Right.
But just get out and enjoy the people and enjoy what this city has to offer to you. I think that was what I would tell them.
Yeah. Don't be afeared.
No.
Get out there.
Right. Yeah. Have fun.
Yeah. Well, it is. You're absolutely right. In this town, you can have that kind of fun. Just don't get too toasty.
And don't be by yourself, like you wouldn't be by yourself in any big city.
Right.
Because there's always, somebody out there who might take advantage of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never do know. I mean, we aren't in Kansas here.
No.
Let's get back to the band. Let's see. How do people find you? You're on Facebook. You're on Instagram. What are you on?
Facebook. You look up Duncan Shadrack. There's only one of me, and so it won't get confused. And you can, and I post where we're playing every week. I post a calendar, and then I post usually the day before for each event that we do. So yeah, it's pretty easy to find. And I also have a YouTube channel, and I have original music, and I share that with people. I don't charge people for that, and I just like to be able to share my music with them and see how they like it. And and so
you play original music as well?
I do. Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So all right, well, can I share that link then on
Oh, absolutely. I'd love you
Myself
to.
a happy home,
But the more I work, the more goes to the man. So now I found myself another plan. I'm gonna buy me a bar down in Mexico, where I can pour the friends I know a shot or two of fun down by the sea. I'm gonna buy me a bar down in Mexico. What else could I ever need in the sun, a bar in Mexico and me? Well, I will pack up all my friends someday and head on down where senoritas play. And I'll be pouring drinks from dusk until the dawn, while we dance the night away with Buffett on. I'm gonna buy me a bar down in Mexico, where I can pour the friends I know a shot or two of fun down by the sea. I'm gonna buy me a bar down in Mexico. What else could I ever need in the sun, a bar in Mexico and me? Well, I get up every morning with nothing on my mind, and pouring margaritas when I can find the time. I'm gonna buy me a bar down in Mexico, where I can pour the friends I know a shot or two of fun down by the sea. I'm gonna buy me a bar down in Mexico. What else could I ever need in the sun, a bar in Mexico and me? What else could I ever need? And senoritas by the sea, the sun, the bar in Mexico and me. Oh yeah, I got it all figured out. The sun, the bar, senoritas.
I'll have the links for the for all the social media stuff. I'll embed a YouTube video of Duncan playing, so you can see what we're all talking about and why it is that you should be listening to the Shadrack Band, and you should be following Duncan Shadrack on Facebook. It's pretty easy, right? That way you can just find out everything you need to find out. Right?
Yeah, I don't know what I'd do without Facebook, really.
Well, I know. One day there'll be something else. I don't know what it'll be, but shh, don't tell anybody. Facebook will get mad at me.
Yeah.
Your wife's a realtor, isn't she?
She is.
She works here in Mexico selling property.
She does. She works for Daniel Kimsian Properties. They do some of the HG home TV, the videos of buying houses in other countries.
Right.
I forgot what it's called. House Hunters.
House Hunters.
They do some of that stuff. Yeah.
Right. Okay. How cool is that?
It's great. She's doing great.
What's her name?
Sarah Duncan.
Sarah Duncan. Okay, so I'll have her information in the show notes if anybody's interested in getting a hold of Sarah to, sell, maybe show some property.
Thank you for that.
Or, sell something that you are, wanting to sell here in Puerto Vallarta. Duncan Shadrack, I want to thank you so much for taking the time and for letting me introduce, my audience to you and find out what you're all about.
Yeah, I appreciate what you do, and thanks for having me. All right.
Oh, thank you, Duncan. Hey, I have links to his Facebook, YouTube videos, all that stuff. You can follow him right there in my show notes. And I really like his original music, don't you? Sounds really good. Very, very talented performer. His band is a lot of fun to watch and listen to and to dance to as well. And thank you so much, Duncan. I have his wife's real estate information in the show notes as well. Look for all that stuff at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com. Check it out. Visit my newly improved and updated website, wouldn't you? Okay, that should do it. for this week. Next week, stay tuned for more on-the-ground reports from Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, with travel tips, great restaurant and excursion ideas, and more. Until then, though, remember this is an interactive show where I depend on your suggestions about everything Puerto Vallarta. If you think of something that I should be talking about, please reach out to me by clicking on the Contact Us tab and sending us your message. And once again, if you like my podcast, take the time and subscribe and follow or share with a lover of Puerto Vallarta, or give me a good review wherever or however you happen to be listening. That way we get the word out to more and more people about the magic of this place, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. And remember, I made it easy for you to do just that with each episode I create. And if you haven't been to my website that I was just talking about, you really need to have a look there. I have the links to places that we talk about, interesting pictures, and more right there in my blog posts and the show notes for each episode of the show. So check them out for sure if you haven't already. All right? All right. Thank you so much to my friend and listener Brittany for bringing to our attention the help that the Mortimers, Reed and Miranda, need and the GoFundMe information that they have. Remember, I have a link to that in the show notes. Thank you so much to Duncan Shadrack for talking with us and sharing your brand of country music with vacationers and locals right here in Puerto Vallarta. You and your band rock, my friend. I have all the contact information in the show notes at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com. And thanks to all of you for listening all the way through this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. This is Barry Kessler signing off with a wish for you all. Hey, slow down, be kind, and live the Vallarta lifestyle. Nos vemos, amigos.
De arrullo en el mar, samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de amor junto al mar. Solo camino, perno por la playa, me encuentro junto al río, cuando todo está en calma, pronto cae la noche, me brillas Puerto Vallarta, samba de Puerto Vallarta.